Hey everybody, how are you? It's Peter again for MLB Trade Rumors and Discussions. Today, again, we are going for the NFL first. We are going to continue with picking for the Arizona Cardinals, and we're going to continue talking about teams' needs. The reason I want to make this video is yesterday somebody was telling me, what are you, crazy? You want to get CeeDee Lamb? You want to need a receiver? That's not going to help you. There was a beautiful article today that was talking about Arizona drafting CeeDee Lamb, which was great. And I want to go over why this is very important and what it means to draft players instead of needs for franchise players that can change your franchise. For example, the Washington Redskins could easily go for a quarterback right now because I'm not sure if I see a lot in Haskins. Right? He's good, but I don't know if I see everything with this guy. However, you do not pass up on Chase Young, right? Chase Young is a franchise player. He changes everything. So you cannot pass up on guys like that. Arizona last year had a chance to build hard on the offensive line and keep a guy in Rosen who had great accuracy. But no, they went for a franchise-changing team by getting Kyler Murray. You cannot pass on guys that can honestly change everything and change everything about your franchise for years to come. You just cannot do that. And the reason I'm saying this is, yes, the obvious pick right now for the Arizona Cardinals is an offensive lineman. Correct. That can help them. If my Cardinals come and draft Wirfs or Wills, I am not going to sit here and go back on and go, shit, what are they doing? I will completely understand and I will still be happy because I think Arizona has a really good offense. However, I watched the Cardinals every game last year. And I know, besides DeAndre Hopkins, who's amazing, they can get somebody else that can change their franchise. Because if Larry, when he does retire in a year or two, whenever it is, you need to change your franchise. And there's options like that of CeeDee Lamb, of Judy, of Ruggs. These guys can change your franchise, but mainly Lamb because these guys are once every 5 to 10 years who sit there, and the yards after the catch to me are the big thing. Those are what make receivers special. The yards after the catch. That is what you have to pay attention to. Now, the offensive line is very important, right? I want you guys to go take a look at Calvin Throckmorton on Oregon. This guy was a senior last year, and he completely was an awesome lineman. I believe he won Pac-12 Guy of the Week, whatever the hell it was. He was terrific. I've watched highlights of this guy consistently, and this guy will be around maybe third round, I'm assuming. And if Arizona feels like they need to trade and maybe move up a little bit, I understand that. But Arizona, that guy is there, and he can easily slide right in to the offensive line. And if they do that, if he slides into the offensive line, all of a sudden you got your lineman that you needed. He is perfect because he's a veteran, played 4 years in college. He knows how to do it. He knows how to block. He knows what to do. He did amazing for Herbert, which probably helped Herbert out a lot. Okay, and you can see where Herbert's going to go, whether it's 5th or 6th. This is a big thing for them. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Why you don't go out and get Wirfs or Wills. If you can get a veteran like that, right? And when I say a veteran, I mean a veteran of college. If you can get a guy who knows how to play the offense and play really well, why would you draft an offensive lineman with your top 8 picks? Why wouldn't you go get a guy like Lamb? And I'd rather any day Lamb and Throckmorton over sitting there and getting Wirfs and somebody later in the 3rd round who we don't know what receiver is going to be there. Okay, whether it's a receiver or a defender. If you switch it around, if you do that, if you can get a guy like an offensive lineman like Throckmorton in the 3rd round, right? I'd rather that than Wills if you have Lamb too. Right? Don't you understand? Like, if you can get a player of Lamb's caliber that can change the offense, everything changes. And you're still improving the offensive line later on. Yeah, maybe he's not as good as Wills or Wirfs, right? Let me tell you something. You don't know how Wirfs is going to be. He's a big guy. There's a lot of holes with this guy, but the potential is the limit. But I can tell you a lot of guys with potential, right? Potential is a very dangerous word. A lot of people in this world have potential. Doesn't mean it always pans out. So again, I want you guys to go look at some highlights of Throckmorton. I really do. I challenge everybody to look at highlights of this man. Take a look at the offensive lineman that's going to be around in the 3rd round. Arizona can get him, and I believe they have the 72nd pick. They can get him. right? They can go get that guy and have a beautiful player in Lamb, right? Now, look, say you didn't want Lamb, right? Say you wanted to get a defender. Okay, I understand that too. But I'm looking for a guy in that when you have the top 10 pick, you have to get a caliber player that's going to change your franchise, right? You got to get somebody that's going to come in and make a crazy impact. You understand? If you look at the top picks for the Giants, for the Bengals, and everything, they're all changing their. This is going to be a team that's going to change their franchise, right? There's going to be two quarterbacks that's going to change franchises. Three quarterbacks, excuse me, that's going to change franchises there. A defender that's going to change the franchise. So that is very important. So for Arizona, they need another receiver that can change the franchise. You need something to take the pressure off of DeAndre Hopkins, and you need something for Kyler to be able to look left, to be able to look right in the middle, and then what also is you got a great player in Drake in the backfield. So now, picture this. You call out and you got Drake behind and you got Kyler Murray. To the left, you got DeAndre Hopkins. In the middle, you got Larry. And to the right, you got CeeDee Lamb. Okay? You call hike the options that can happen there. You do a play action to Drake, and then you get all these guys going. Whether you want to do a bootleg or you want to run with Kyler, you want to do a little screen to Drake, you can do it, right? You want to do a real quick play to Larry because you never know he's going to get the first down for you. Or you can get Lamb deep, send Hopkins deep, have Lamb do a post, whatever the hell you want to do with that. But those are two players on the outside that are number ones, that after they catch the ball are extremely dangerous. And what Kingsbury does is he draws the offense there. So the minute you get that catch, you're going to have a shot to do the yards after the catch. And that is why having Hopkins and having Lamb changes it. So if you sit there, right, and say you do, and you go for Wirfs or Wills. Now, okay, you have DeAndre Hopkins, right, on the outside. Yeah, great, amazing player. But after that, you're still depending right now on Christian Kirk to stay healthy and to be a game changer, which in the last 2 years he's good, but he hasn't showed you that. And now you're depending on Larry Fitzgerald again to be a dominant player, again, right? That's not going to happen. It cannot. Because then you're one injury away from one of those guys from a whole different thing. I think Larry deserves to take the pressure off this poor guy for a little bit. Could you imagine Larry as a number 3 or number 4? Could you just imagine by having that guy run up the middle with other guys going? What would happen? Because now by having a guy like Lamb, everything has to happen. All the pressure. You need receivers. You need game changers. Lamb is a game changer. Murray was a game changer. Josh Rosen and keeping the offensive line and doing things was not a game changer. Okay? You can look at Dallas last year. Amari Cooper was nasty, but what you didn't know who was going to step up as the second. Gallup was dropping a lot of passes, right? You needed receivers. If you looked at Philadelphia didn't have a freaking receiver at all. Alshon Jeffrey couldn't stay healthy, right? You need guys who can make receivers. Take a look at Green Bay. Green Bay needed somebody to step up besides Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams was amazing. Who else helped him? Who? You had a really great running back. You have one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Why couldn't Green Bay do well? Why? Because honestly, their defense was god-awful. I get that. But if they had another offensive receiver, which they are going to draft this year, then I get it. You needed somebody else. You cannot just expect a running back and a top receiver to do everything. There needs to be more. Patrick Mahomes had a bunch of guys to throw the ball to, right? But he had 2 specific guys. Well, really 3, right? You have a great tight end in Kels, which is really more like a receiver to me because the guy has amazing hands, right? And you had Tyreek Hill. But then you had a guy that was the game changer in Sammy Watkins that was making these great catches, that was bailing them out on some plays, right? And then you have Damian Williams that can run and catch. Damian Williams reminds you of Drake a little bit too, right? Definitely can run, definitely can catch. It fits. That's what I'm saying. That this is where teams need to do something. Same for the Giants. You looked at the Giants. And then you had, let's go to the Browns for a second. Odell Beckham, and then you got Jarvis Landry, right? The reason Landry did really, really well, and Ramsey was doing excellent, is because all the attention goes on Beckham, right? All the attention goes to Beckham. So after that, you need a guy to make big plays, step up, make really great plays. And then that was a guy like Landry. It's just unfortunate Cleveland sucked. But Landry is an awesome receiver. You need guys to make big plays. Again, I will mention Pittsburgh to you guys. Schuster was not enough. He is not a top receiver, right? You can see that. When there was really cornerbacks that can shut him down, it wasn't enough. You need guys to make plays. That's what I'm saying, guys. So I challenge you to go look at Calvin, watch him as an offensive lineman, and tell me if he doesn't fit. So you tell me if you rather Lamb and him, or you rather just go Wills and wait till the third round and just get a defender. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't. You let me know what you think, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.